Hey guys, how are we doing on this beautiful Friday? We got the NBA playoffs. We got the final playing games that are probably going on right now as you're watching this. But we're going to do the NBA playoff preview now because the games start tomorrow for the main bracket. So we're going to do the preview. We know most of the matchups. There's only two that we're missing. We're going to go through. I'm going to give you my picks, predictions. We're going to lock everything in. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. NBA playoffs are getting ready to start. The opening game tomorrow is my Indiana Pacers against the Milwaukee Bucks. So, I do want to kind of throw this out there. I do play, so I've got the PlayStation, so I play NBA Live, NBA 2K. And one of the things that is on the franchise mode that you can choose to get put into the season is the reseeding after each round, like the NFL does. And I wanted to run through this real fast because we're going to have time. I'm not going to take too long. But think about this: if the seeding reset each round. So let's say the Pistons beat the Knicks, okay? They're the 6th seed. The Pistons would then play the Cavaliers. Boston would then get the winner between the Pacers and the Bucks if they beat the Magic. I.e., if the Golden State Warriors as the 7th seed were to win their matchup over the Rockets, their reward for winning would then be having to play the Thunder in the next round then as the number 1 seed because the Thunder would have beaten the 8th seed. It is an interesting dynamic. Having a set bracket and one that does not reset after each round, it does make filling out the bracket somewhat easier, but it also creates certain matchups, and it does allow for the movement a little bit more as far as the teams wanting a certain position. The Pacers wanted 4. Why? Well, you're either going to play the Bucks or the Pistons at 4. Either way, and that was Pistons ended up getting 6, Bucks got 5. But you match up really well with the Cavs. You play the Cavs tough. They're a division opponent. The Celtics, they're kind of your nemesis right now. You don't play good against Boston. So, full up front, if I'm Indiana, I love being number 4 right now. It works. Let the Knicks have to go play Boston if they beat the Pistons. So, not having a resetting bracket is kind of helps teams at the end of the year know where they want to be in the playoffs. And yes, those conversations happen behind closed doors because they all know, based off of the analytics and all their scouting, which teams they feel they can beat the most. I absolutely am fine with any of that because it's within what's happening. The NBA has set up a bracket system where you know who you're playing, so you can kind of set yourself up to play that way. They did talk about, the playing games. Listen, the Magic knew they didn't want to have to play the Heat. Everybody kind of figured the Heat would beat the Bulls. And the Heat are kind of... Tonight's game is interesting, but really the feeling is that the Heat are going to come out on top because they don't know if the Hawks are going to be able to hold it together mentally. So my prediction for tonight is Dallas over Memphis, Heat over the Hawks, which means Dallas plays Oklahoma City, the Heat play the Cavaliers in round one. And that's where we're going to start at right now. Either way, I'm not picking the 8th seed to beat the number 1. Okay, so in both sides, I've got number 1 seed, the Cavaliers in the East, and the Thunder in the West, winning their matchups. Now, when you look at the different ways, I think the Heat would be a worse matchup for them. Primarily because of the way the Heat can play basketball. They are a little bit bigger. They match up a little bit better on the inside. And it does really kind of lean towards the Heat being able to outpace the Cavaliers if they get into a big running game. Now, let's go here. I want to run everything. There it is. Run down with everything here. So, my thought with Cavaliers versus Heat is Cavs will win in 6. I don't see the Cavs sweeping them, and I don't see it being a really easy series for them to be able to win. Now, I went back and I watched a couple of the old playoff games. I do miss having the first series be 5 games. I really do. I wish that was still the case. The first series being 5 games made it a little bit more intense. You didn't have as much luxury to lose in the first round like you did in later rounds when, well, let's just be honest, the better teams were playing each other. So I do wish that we still had the 5 games for the first series, but it's a 7-game series, first one to win 4. I've got the Cavaliers over the Heat, because I'm picking the Heat tonight, 4-2, which then puts the next game, Pacers versus Bucks. Whoever wins that series is facing the Cavaliers. Pacers and Bucks open up tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock on ESPN, right here in Indianapolis. Super pumped, super excited. I'm going to give you a plus and minus of this game, this series. The positive, the Pacers can absolutely score with 8-9 different people. The negative, sometimes they forget that they can score with 9 people. The Pacers, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, you cannot win a championship constantly having to come from behind. It is not a way of life that leads to a championship. It burnt them last year once they got to the finals and played a team like Boston who wasn't going to let them go on 20-2 runs. They could go on a 10-2, but then the Celtics would go on an 8-4. That is the difference. You can't get down by 17. You can't get down by 25 and actually expect to be able to win these games when it comes down to the tough competition. Now, the Pacers match up against the Bucks really well. Giannis is very uncomfortable playing the Pacers. They do not have Damian Lillard. I think that is a big part for them. There is no Chris Middleton. I've got the Pacers winning in 5. Milwaukee, I think, will win Game 3. Pacers will win Game 4 and Game 5 to close it out in 5 games. I do not think they sweep. They will win it in 5 games. So we've got the Cavs in 6, Pacers in 5, Knicks and Pistons. This is a really interesting series. Really interesting series. Because the Knicks are the better team, but the Pistons are that team that is not going away. And I think the nice rest for them really, really helps them. They open their series tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on ESPN, in the Garden in New York. I think the Knicks take the first 2. I think the Pistons then get the next 2, coming back to New York at a 2-2 tie. New York wins at home, and I think New York will want to close it out because they won't want to be overly tired for the Boston series potentially that they have. Because as much as I love the Magic, and I really love the Magic, I absolutely love the Orlando Magic. I wish they didn't get 7th. If they were 6th, I'd probably say the Magic could go 7 with the Knicks, just because the Pistons have issues controlling themselves. They're not grown up enough. And I think the Knicks will eventually just frustrate them out of games. The Magic are young. Give them another draft. Give them another couple moves. They will be sitting there fighting for a top 5 spot in the Eastern Conference next year. I like what the Magic have done. I really, really do. They're just not quite there yet, but they're scrappy and they can wear teams down. But I think the Knicks win in 6. The Celtics, I hate to say it, I think they win in 5, but I think the point differential in this game is less than 10 points a game. I think the point differential in this game, and I know you're like, well, 10 points a game is a pretty big one. 93 to 83 or closer. 105 to 95 or closer. The higher up you go, being within 10 points doesn't seem like as big of a deal. The Magic will be right there. They will not let the Celtics relax. The Celtics will have to play hard. Magic are going to steal one at home. It's going to be big for them. They should. They're a really good team. It's just a bad matchup. The Magic make the Celtics play hard. Playoff Celtics are different. It's kind of like the Chiefs. Playoff Chiefs are different than regular season Chiefs in the NFL. Playoff Celtics are different than regular season Celtics in the NBA. So my thought is I want to say Boston in 7 because I love the youth of the Magic. I love watching them play. The unity, the way they move the ball, just the team spirit that is in Orlando. I absolutely love it. It looks like basketball again. Unfortunately, Celtics have all the star power. They've got guys that can just take over games. And at the end of the day, talent will outdo it when you've got as much talent as the Celtics do. And I absolutely hate it. But I think the Celtics win it in 5. But you're going to see close games. The Magic will be respected for how they lose and taking one game away in Orlando, especially if they get it to 2-1. Take that game 3 in Orlando, they will get respect for the fact that they made the Celtics work, and everybody's going to be looking at next year going, okay, so what are they, do they only need one more player? What move do they need to make just to get to that next rung on the ladder? So I got the Cavaliers over the Heat in 6, Pacers over the Bucks in 5, Knicks over the Pistons in 6, and Celtics over the Magic in 5. That is my Eastern Conference. In my Western Conference, the Mavericks could potentially pose a problem for the Thunder. They easily could, because if Anthony Davis plays, that's a big issue potentially inside for the Thunder. These games could be really close. And this series could go 7 games. If Thompson starts hitting threes, if Davis rebounds and puts up 23 points with 17 boards, this is a series that could really, really drag on. The good news is I think the series right below them of who the winner is going to play is going to do the same thing. So I've got the Thunder. I think at the end of the day, I believe they are the better team. They're younger. Injuries could easily play a part for the Mavericks. I'm going to go with injuries rear their ugly head for the Mavericks in the series. The Thunder close this thing out in 6 over the Mavericks. Now, the next game, the Nuggets and Clippers, it's going 7. It's going 7. And it's only going to go 7 because of Joker. The Clippers are the clear team right now. I hate firing your coach. Memphis is going to potentially miss the playoffs because of firing their coach. It absolutely upset everything. The Nuggets have not looked the same since firing Malone. And the Cronkies are going to look back and go, that was one of the worst decisions we made. I think they can go 7 with the Clippers. I think the Clippers are hungry, though. And they're on a little bit better run right now. They've got their offense clicking. Joker's going to be Joker. But I'm going to take the Clippers in 7 because I don't think the Nuggets are going to be coached enough. They don't have Malone there. They don't have the championship guy sitting there that's already been there. You've got a first-time coach that's trying now to coach a team to a championship, and he's not even coached for over 2 weeks. Like, this is ridiculous. And I'm not going to jump on him. Okay, I am not going to jump on him. It's not his fault. It's the owner's fault. And the way the season is going to play out, I feel sorry for Nuggets fans. I believe the Clippers win it in 7. The Lakers and the Timberwolves. This is awesome. So I'm just going to play the dream scenario. Luka and LeBron, sure. But what if Ant takes them down? Yes, I know I'm playing hypotheticals here. But what if Ant takes them down? What if the Timberwolves go into the wonderful home of the Los Angeles Lakers and win the series? I believe this is another series that could go 7 games. There's actually 3 of them. I mean, all 4 could in the Western Conference because the matchups make it so. The Lakers could win this one 4-1. Or the Timberwolves could stretch this thing out to a 7-game series. Rudy Gobert, I believe, is a big part of this. If he can stay out of foul trouble and be somebody where they can slow the offense down on their side of the ball. When they've got the ball, if the Timberwolves can slow it down, I believe the Timberwolves can stay in these games, drop the scoring of this game, let Ant do a little bit of isolation, potentially really wear LeBron down with some defense. He's older, guys. This isn't something that's far-fetched. He's played the longest season he has in a long time. Let's just be real. Playoff basketball is more intense. Luka is going to have to take the brunt of everything. Austin Reeves will have to be on. If they have a bad shooting night, the Timberwolves are going to, pounce. I have the Lakers winning. I'm going to predict 7 games. I'm going to predict Lakers in 7, but I'm going to predict 7 games. I really want to take the Timberwolves, but I just think at the end of the day, the scoring from the Lakers will outdo the intensity of the Timberwolves. And this is an old school game. The next nostalgia series, and I thought about this, I'm like, man, I've got everything kind of set up. We got the NBA playoffs going on. When it gets into kind of a little bit of a lull, I've got a year of the NBA playoffs that is next in the nostalgia series. I remember the Kevin Garnett Timberwolves. I remember KG, Terrell Brandon. I remember those teams. This is a old-fashioned series. Lakers, Timberwolves. Can the T-Wolves match up with the scoring of the Lakers? It could be over in 5. It may be over in 7. I'm going to go 7. I think it's going to be a great series. They are the game that is tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. on ABC. I love it. Absolutely love it. So, Clippers in 7, Lakers in 7, Thunder in 6, Rockets versus the Warriors. The Warriors are technically favored to win the series. The Rockets are underdogs in this series. I love this. The Rockets are getting the disrespect because of it being the Warriors and because of how they came on after the Jimmy Butler trade. Now, I have seen this before. Playoff Jimmy Butler is nothing to trifle with. Nothing. But the Rockets' defense has suffocated the Warriors every time they play. Their scheme works, and the Warriors cannot get away from the tenacity and the suction cup defense that the Rockets play. It's going to be very, very isolation, Jimmy or Steph dependent. They will have to make the plays. And if they're off, if you go 12 for 30, if you're Jimmy Butler, it's not going to be good enough. The Rockets defense, I think, will suffocate everybody enough, make them play too hard. I believe the Warriors run out of gas is what happens. The age of the team catches up. They run out of gas. That's how the Rockets win and move on. Rockets in 7. I think it's going to be a long series too. I really think Rockets in 7. I wanted to go Rockets in 6, but knowing in Oracle, I think a game 6, Steph's just going to go off, saving the series for one more game. But at home, I think Houston takes them out. And they are the 9:30 game on Sunday night. Sunday night on TNT. So there's my first round picks. So we've got Thunder in 6. We got Clippers in 7. Lakers in 7. Rockets in 7. So I took 1, 5, 3, and 2. And in the Eastern Conference, I took 1, 4, 3, and 2. I took all the top teams in that side. I wanted, like I said, the Pistons could make it tough on the Knicks, but I don't trust them to be mature enough to be able to. All right, so that means the second round, we've got Cavs versus Pacers. And then we've got Knicks and Celtics. Heck yes. Exactly what you want if you're the NBA. A Knicks and Celtics series. A Pacers and Cavaliers series. You got the Thunder versus the Clippers, and you got the Lakers versus the Rockets. Absolutely beautiful series. Yes, Lakers versus Warriors would work just as well, if not a little bit better because of the star power. But you know what? These series are going to be beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm going to go biasness. Yeah, I'm going with the Pacers. Nobody watched them after how they started the year with all the injuries. Then all of a sudden they're 4th. They get 50 wins. Everybody looks up and goes, I don't know anything about this team. They're better than the Bucks that we talk about all the time, but I don't know anything about them. Well, that's because you guys don't do your job. I understand every concern that each Pacer fan has. They can't get down, but they match up with the Cavs really, really well. They can spread the ball around, especially with Benedict back. Mathurin was a huge missing piece for last year's playoffs. This year we've got a healthy team heading into the playoffs. They are ultra deep. Pacers beat the Cavs in 6. We beat them back here in 6 in Indianapolis. That's my feeling. Boston, New York. New York can rough up Boston a little bit. They can play a little tough. They squeeze out 2 games. Boston handles the series, wins that series in 6. So the Eastern Conference Finals is the Pacers versus Celtics for the second straight year. And in the Western Conference, as much as I hate it, I think the Lakers' ability to drive, because the Warriors are much more of a shooting team, the Lakers can drive and kick. I think the Lakers take out the Rockets in 6. It could go 7. There's no doubt. It could go 7. But I think the Lakers take out the Rockets in 6 because the Game 7 series with the Warriors is going to probably give a coach like J.J. Redick the ability to really look at how that defense is played. And they got better drivers on the Lakers than they have on the Warriors. I think that's what makes the difference. They win it in 6. Like I said, could go 7. So the Lakers are in the Western Conference Finals. Now, the Clippers and the Thunder. This is where it's going to get really interesting because you've got the team that was the best all year long going up against another LA team. And if you were to have an LA versus LA Western Conference Finals, but I'm going OKC. I think Kawhi, Paul George, the health with the way that the Thunder can run you out of the building. I think the health of the Clippers will eventually, like it did with the Mavericks, rear its ugly head. Somebody's going to get injured. There's going to be 1 or 2 games in that series. They're not at full strength. The Thunder get those games even if they're not playing their best. And I think the Thunder win that series. I'm going to go 7, though. I'm going to go 7. That's what I'm going with. So you've got the Thunder versus Lakers in the Western Conference Finals and the Pacers versus Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Beautiful. Here we go. Everybody at this point is going to be clamoring for a Boston and LA NBA Finals. Now, the question I have to answer is this. Can I do biasness in an Eastern Conference Finals, or do I want to be right? I don't think the Pacers get swept this year by Boston. Mathurin, I think, makes a big difference because it gives the bench a lot more depth. But I do think the Celtics are better. As much as I hate it, they're still better. They've got the players that are able to play at the high level. It's a 7-game series in Boston for Game 7. It's going to be a 7-game series on the other side in Oklahoma City between the Lakers and the Thunder. And my NBA Finals prediction is Boston and LA. And that's what the NBA wants in all seriousness. Boston and LA. That would be a perfect NBA Finals for the NBA. Now, the Pacers and Lakers, and I've thought about this. The last time the Pacers made the NBA Finals, but we said it last year, was we played the Bucks round 1. Well, we did that last year too. So that doesn't really matter at this point. Pacers versus Lakers would be an amazing series as well because you've got the youth versus the more experienced. Straight up, guys, I really want to pick the Pacers. I really do. I believe the Pacers can beat them at their very best. But I think it's going to take 7 games of your very best. And I have not seen the Pacers string along that many consistent games in a row where they haven't fallen behind and had to come back with 20-plus points. That doesn't work in the playoffs. And that can't happen. And the inconsistency, I have to be honest, even though I want to pick the Pacers, I have to be honest, the Celtics will take advantage of that. Celtics in 7. Lakers in 7, even though I love the Thunder more. The Thunder are very shooter dependent. And I think when it comes down to the playoffs, you got to be able to make the 2-point jumpers. You got to be able to make the free throws. You got to be able to be tough, get that charging foul. I think LA is a little bit better set up because of Luka, because of Hachimura, Dalton Connect. I think they're just better set up for it right now. So I got the Lakers in 7, the Celtics in 7, and my NBA final champion for the second year in a row is the Boston Celtics. Boston, to me, has just been built so well. They've been built like Philly. And I know saying that would just make Boston fans, outraged. That they've been built like the Philadelphia Eagles. They're built to win consistently. They're built to be the number 1 or 2 seed until they have to completely tear it down because of the salary cap. They're just that good. They match up so well against the Lakers. They match up with the size. They match up with the shooting. They're better defensively. LeBron will be outrageously tired by this point. Luka, Brown can cover Luka. You can put Tatum on him for length. It's just Boston's better. So I'm going to say Boston wins the NBA Finals in 6 games. Boston wins the NBA Finals in 6 games. All right. There's the NBA playoff prediction. I love playoff basketball. I cannot wait for tomorrow. 1 o'clock, ESPN, Pacers and Bucks. 3:30, let's see, where is it? There it is. 3:30 is the Nuggets and Clippers on ESPN. Then at 6 p.m. on ESPN, 6 p.m. on ESPN, the Knicks play the Pistons, and then you close out tomorrow with the Lakers and the Timberwolves. Sunday, it will be the 1 p.m. game will be the Thunder versus the winner of the Mavs and Grizzlies. Then, let's see, 3:30 will be the Celtics and Magic. 7 p.m. will be the Cavaliers against the winner of the Heat and the Hawks. And we close out Sunday night with the Rockets and the Warriors. So, my Eastern Conference Finals prediction, Pacers versus Boston Celtics. Boston wins. Western Conference, Thunder versus the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers win. Boston in 6 in the NBA Finals. There we go, guys. Obviously, I put that all in the description. And yes, I have already put my bet on FanDuel. Pacers make the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston over the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. They're locked in. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what they say. Guys, it's been an exciting week. Monday and Tuesday next week, mock draft. We will be, at that point, 4 days away from the NFL draft. 4 days away. We'll talk more football next week. Have an absolutely great opening weekend of the NBA playoffs. Have a great Saturday, a great Sunday. Happy Easter to you and yours. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Make sure to subscribe, like the podcast. I deeply appreciate it, as always. Until next time, hopefully you get the golden egg this weekend in your Easter egg hunt. And I will see you guys Monday night with mock draft number 1. Till then, for Sports Talk with Hawk, I'm Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great Easter weekend.